Right, here we go. This is my new rifle, and it is the Priest 2 from a Slovakian company called Rti, and this is the 177 caliber sub 12 foot-pound one, and very impressed. First impression straight out the box. I've literally just got it straight out of the box, and it's a good looking gun, very simplistic. Now, I suppose the first thing to get out of the way with this rifle is that in some quarters there's been a bit of a misconception that this rifle was just a cheap East European copy of the FX Impact, and that is frankly nonsense, because apparently this rifle actually went into development before the Impact did. Also, apart from some superficial resemblance to the Impact, this rifle is differently engineered, and to be perfectly honest with you, I think it is a superior product, and I'll tell you why. The Impacts, when they first came out, had a fairly abysmal reputation for leaking, and some shops actually stopped selling them because they had so many returns from leaks. I think it's no great secret there's been YouTube videos of people complaining about them. I think Blackpool Air Rifles stopped selling them because they had so many coming back with leaks. And I think one of the reasons for that is that the Impact is quite a complicated design, overcomplicated possibly. And apparently there are 17 different places, different connections in the system where the rifle can potentially leak air from. Now, the Priest is a much simpler design, has far fewer places where a leak can occur, and therefore obviously the less places you have for a leak to occur, the less chance of a leak actually occurring is. And I've never heard of a case of a Priest 1 or a Priest 2 on any of the forums or on YouTube, or for that matter dealers or anywhere really, having a problem with a leak or any problems at all really. So let's get that one out of the way. This is not a cheap Eastern European copy of the FX Impact. It was designed before the Impact, and it is his own product. And I think, and I've shot an Impact, I've never owned one, but I've shot an Impact. I think that this is actually a superior product. Now, that's just me. Obviously people will disagree, and obviously those who write for the airgun magazines or produce their own YouTube channels that are supplied with rifles for nothing, and it happens, you know, you've got a massive YouTube channel or constantly writing every week or every month in various magazines, they get given their guns for nothing or next to nothing. They don't have to pay, so obviously they're not going to say if they have a problem. It's just brushed under the carpet, because let's be honest, if someone was giving me an FX Impact for nothing, then I doubt very much whether I'd say that it was leaking or that I'd had problems with it and had to return it twice or three times or whatever. You know, because you're just giving away 1,700 quid's worth of rifle. So there you go. It's the truth. Sorry, but it is. This, paid full whack for it. It's not a freebie. Got it from City Air Weapons. It's a bit of a wait for them to come in. And this one, I got the one with the carbon fibre buddy bottle instead of the aluminium buddy bottle. The standard version of this has an aluminium buddy bottle. This one is, I think these are about 100 quid dearer than the standard one. But nonetheless, this is still coming in, you know, significantly, almost half the price of an FX Impact. Or not far off anyway, which is a significant saving for a rifle that really does everything that an Impact does, or looks like it. If you're into that tactical look, does everything an Impact does and doesn't have the problems. So let's concentrate on this gun now. and I'll just do a run through of what you basically get for your money. Right, so like I say, 177 caliber. Mine comes with this one's come with a carbon fibre buddy bottle. More shots per fill, and they go up to a 300 bar fill. Not that, I must admit, not that I would go up to a 300 bar fill with mine. I would probably stick at 220 bar, but from what I understand, with a normal aluminium bottle at 220 bar, you get 100 shots before it hits 150 bar, and I think the regulator is set to about 120 bar. So you could probably get about 150 shots on a 220 bar fill before you hit the regulator pressure. The carbon fibre bottle again is going to probably give you an extra 50-60 shots before that happens on the same fill. So you know, you're not looking at far off 200 shots at 200 odd bar fill, which is what most air rifles have done. If you want to fill it to 300 bar, then that goes way up, goes up to something like 300 odd shots, 350, probably more with the carbon fibre bottle. And that's in 177, obviously more with the 2.2. But personally, I'd only ever fill this to 220 or thereabouts. Less strain on the system. And also, I'd struggle probably to get many 300 bar fills at my own air tank before I ran out of air. So there you go. So plenty enough shots, you know, loads of shots out of it. Fully shrouded barrel. It's a 20-inch barrel, I think, CZ barrel. It's choked, and it's got 12 grooves, and it's got a 1 in 17.7 twist on it. Now CZ barrels, really good, fantastic reputation, and they're quite picky about who they'll actually sell their barrels to or supply their barrels to. Now this particular gun, or the side lever version of this particular gun, competed in this year's bench rest trials in America and did really well. Got 2 places, I think. And the only real difference between that rifle and this one was the fact that this is a bolt and that was a side lever. So no real difference. Obviously it was the FAC full power version and not the sub 12 foot-pound version, but it shows what accuracy these things are capable of. It's got a fully shrouded barrel, standard 1/2 inch UNF thread on the end if you want to put an extra silencer on there. Fully regulated, and it's got a very good regulator as well. I think you're looking at less than 10 feet per second difference over a sort of 60-70 shot count, which is really phenomenal. So good, in fact, that downrange on a target, it means it's almost perfect. You know, you're not going to notice any difference at all with them sort of levels of consistency in the shot. Yeah, so 20-inch barrel. You can change these barrels. They're about 300 odd quid, I think. And they actually change really easy. There's just a simple Allen key there that you take out, an Allen key on the other side that you take out to get the pellet loader, the probe out. And the barrel, just undo that one screw there. You get a special tool that comes in the barrel change kits that goes down the shroud, screws on the end of the barrel, and you pull it out, slot your new one in, tighten that up, put your pellet probe in, tighten that screw up, and that's it, done. It's that easy to change your barrel on these guns. Like I say, they're about 300 odd quid, and you get them in 2.2 and 2.5. So it's multi-barrel, you change it. AR style pistol grip, rubberized. They'll take any AR pistol grip that hasn't got the little beaver tail at the back. But other than the, if you're looking to change it for another AR pistol grip, and there's masses of aftermarket AR pistol grips, just as long as you make sure you haven't got one with a little beaver tail on the back, it'll fit straight on with no problems at all. Trigger is incredible, to put it mildly. Not just for a bullpup, but for any air rifle. It's really good. In fact, if anything, it's come from the factory set up, and I think it's a little bit too light for hunting. So there's a possibility I'm going increase the let-off weight a bit, but it's really, really crisp. Great first stage, and a really crisp, lightweight second stage, which aids the phenomenal accuracy of this gun. It's really, really good. The trigger's incredible. It's got a solid bar linkage to the back, and you adjust the pull weight with two little screws that are located on the other side of this. I'll show you in a minute. But to be honest, straight from the factory as it's come, it's nigh on perfect. Really good trigger, really, really good. There's no creep. It's got really definable let-off stage. In fact, even though I've got no scope on it, I've blasted a few through it, through the chronograph, and using Air Arms Diablos, it's getting about 11.64 foot-pounds, or thereabouts, 11.6, which is good. You know, that's a good level of power out of this thing. And like I say, less than 10 feet per second over a load of shots. Really nice. Bolt fed, a little rubberized bit on the end of the bolt. Just pull the bolt back and it slots down into this little groove here, so you can load your magazine at the back. Now the magazines, you get 14 shots in 177 and you get 12 in 2.2. I think you get 10 in 2.5, but I'm not entirely sure about the 2.5 one. It weighs 3 kilos, which is light, really. 3 kilos is next to nothing, really. And it's a fairly compact, as you can see. It really is quite short. It's 170 mil, I think, in length. So it's a short little gun, really. Picatinny rail on top, and little Picatinny rail at the bottom here for mounting a bipod or a lamp. And it's also got two standard, I don't know whether you can see them very well on this camera, to be honest, but here it's got two standard dovetails, so you can actually put stuff on the side as well if you want. Not Picatinny though, but standard dovetails, so you can put like a lamp on the side and a bipod underneath, or whatever you want to do. So, and it's got one of those on both sides, so it's got plenty of options for putting add-ons on it and extras and whatnot, should you so wish. Back end of it, flat metal aluminium butt plate, non-adjustable, which possibly is the only thing that you might gripe about, that it hasn't got an adjustable butt pad. But to be honest with you, it sits so nicely, because it's so compact and so light, it sits so nicely in the arms, and it's really nicely pointable. I don't think that's going to be a problem for most people. You can get an extended stock, but it's a factory fit, that I think. So, you know, if you want that, you're going to have to, you know, pay extra for that. It wasn't 1.7, 170 mil long, what am I about? It's got 330 mil reach to the trigger, so the butt to the trigger, 330. But like I say, if you want it longer, you can. They do make an extended butt, but that is a factory fit. To be honest with you, there's two grooves in here. You can see those. There's two grooves cut into the rear butt pad and a hole at the bottom as well. So I wouldn't have thought it would have been especially difficult for someone, if they wanted, to fit a sliding adjustable butt pad onto it anyway. And I would imagine that in the next couple of months, when these things get into more circulation, that some bright spark, one of the add-on companies, will have one of those available as an add-on extra. So there you go, the Priest. Really, really nice little compact gun. It's very, very pointable. It really is. Nicely compacted, nicely pointable, and the finish is amazing. You know, there's always a worry with a brand that's not been out very long, and so far as I'm aware, RTI only make two air rifles. They make the Priest and they make the Prophet, which is, as I mentioned earlier, basically a side lever version of the Priest, really. That's about the only difference, really. There's not a great deal of difference between the two. And I think the profit comes as standard with the carbon bottle. But other than that, I don't think there's a huge difference. So there you go. So they only make 2. So there's always a bit of a worry. Are they going to be any good? You know, Eastern European, a bit of an unknown quantity. But the fit, the finish and the fit of this, the anodizing, everything about it is really good. You know, it's a really, really well made, nicely finished, sweet shooting rifle. And for it to go out there and win, or be placed in the bench rest competition, is pretty spectacular. So I'm well impressed with this, and I will later on, probably this weekend, I'm going to be fitting well, I won't be doing it this weekend because I'm off to the shooting show, but I will be fitting a bipod on it, and then I need to pick a telescopic sight to go on it, and that's a bit of a quandary at the moment. I have got my IOR scope that's currently not on a rifle, so I might put that on, but to be honest with you, this thing needs a small, I think it'd suit a smaller compact scope rather than that really big IOR scope. I can see myself probably putting that on for now, while I get some shooting time in with it. But then I think on the shopping list at the shooting show is possibly going to be some form of lightweight, more compact scope. I've got my eye on a few different ones, but I haven't made my mind up yet which one to buy. I've been looking at sort of the Hawk compacts, the little Discovery compact, or the Aztec Emerald, which looks like a really nice scope as well. So I haven't really decided yet which of those to stick on it. So by the end of this weekend, I'll have made my mind up. Something will be sat on top of it, and I'll be out and about and do some test shooting with it. So there you go. So initial thoughts: well made, lightweight, well made rifle, really, really compact, solid, nicely finished. It's very quiet, and it is very quiet as well. I like this AR grip they've got on it. It's really nice. It's like a rubberized AR grip, and it's got, I know it's pointless, but it's got a little storage compartment in the bottom of it as well, as have a lot of AR grips. Yeah, so sweet shooting, really nicely made, nicely finished. It's beautifully finished. You know, the machining on it and the finish is superb, and it's very simple. It looks to be very minimalistic and very simple rifle. So yeah, I like it. Everything about it, I like it. I think they're onto a winner with this rifle, and I can't wait to get some sort of scope stuck on it and get out there and give it a try. I know we've got another storm front blowing in apparently, so that's not the best, but I really, really want to get out there and give this gun a whiz, because I've got high hopes for this. It's nicely made, and them CZ barrels, boy do they produce the goods. They are very, very accurate, once you've picked the right pellet for it. So yeah, so there it is, Priest 2 with the carbon fibre bottle, and fresh in from City Air Weapons. I think they're actually selling these at the minute. You don't have to pick the carbon fibre buddy bottle as an option. They've actually had a batch load of them in that have got these carbon fibre bottles fitted on them anyway. Like I said, they're 100 quid dearer than the standard version, but you still, you know, they're a bargain really when you look what they're up against, for the quality of finish and the way they shoot. So there you go, fantastic things, beautiful. Now, I don't know how I should say this, but I will. I know that I had a bit of trouble getting hold of City Air Weapons before Christmas to try and buy one of these rifles. And I tried and their phone lines were down, and I couldn't get hold of them. And apparently the reason for that was that they were moving their factory site to a bigger premises, and were having some trouble with the phones. But I know that now the phones and everything's back up and running. and you know, so if you're trying to contact them, you can. Unlike the trouble I had before Christmas when I tried to buy one of these then and couldn't get hold. But yeah, brilliant gun, fantastic, and for the money, a bit of a steal really for what you're getting. You know, when you think as well of the optional extras that are available, this barrel change for about 300 odd quid to any calibre you want, and you're getting a CZ barrel, so you're not getting a rubbish barrel. These are quality barrels. You can buy an adapter kit to take these cylinders off if you want, and they have a little, like an umbilical cord type thing that plugs in the bottom here on a Foster fitting, and the cord goes on so you can put the bottle in your backpack or hang it on your belt or whatever. The only other thing I found a bit odd is that they come with a Foster fitting to recharge them. Don't use this to try and recharge them because you can't. That's purely for the buddy bottle. You can't recharge through that. You recharge through this Foster fitting here. And if I were you, like what I'm going to do, I'd put some sort of protective cap over that. Anything, rubber cap, or I've got one of the enclosed Foster fitting caps that they use for testing bottles. So you put it over and it's got like a closed valve at the top that you shut. You can test the pressure. So I'm going to put one of them on just to stop any crud or crap falling into the system. So there you go, brilliant little gun, bargain as well. Good buy for what you get. A lot of rifle for the money. So yeah, can't wait to get a scope on it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and there'll be more on this rifle and on my Uragan compact as well to come. So thank you.